Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Please subscribe, guys. It really does help with the algorithm, and a thumbs up never hurts as well. I got XRP up here, guys, on the hourly right now. XRP trading at about $1.06, and take a look at the hourly right now. We can see XRP bouncing off support, hourly support, right? And right now we're trading up here. The more times we hit a support level, the more likely it is to pierce through that level, and the same thing is true for resistance. So I know we're waiting for that leg up, and again, this is the hourly, so this is a shorter time frame, a smaller time frame that I'm looking at, and as I've said in the past, overall, XRP looking very bullish. The macro time frame, of course, XRP is going to make higher lows, higher highs, but in the meantime, and I'm talking about perhaps accumulating one last stash of XRP, and for those of you guys who are also taking a look at XRP entry points, perhaps if you feel like you have not received enough XRP at this moment in time, I'm looking at anywhere between, I'm going to say 97 cents and about 75 cents. Now, I know this zone doesn't look like it makes any sense right now. It is because I am on the 1 hour time frame. But when I zoom out on the XRP chart, guys, and now I have it on the daily, and I'll drag this all the way over here, you guys can see it does line up significantly with this level over here. So this supply zone that we saw way back in April of 2018, we can also see XRP did touch that level of resistance from back in September of 2018, again, November of 2020, and then again, early 2021. So that is the absolute bottom level I'm looking at, right? 75 cents, 80 cents. I mean, just depending on the exchange and just depending on, I mean, these are wicks. So, I mean, the price is not going to be perfect. But this zone here, I mean, this is kind of what we have to be paying attention to if you are looking for another entry point, especially, of course, if you want to be accumulating more XRP at this moment in time. But we are making higher lows, right? Since mid-March, higher lows, and even if we did drop down to the bottom end of that, that still would be a higher low. So I know what you're probably thinking to yourself. I do not want this thing to go any lower. I want it to moon now. Now is moon time, Working Money channel. I'm just saying, we might not get these levels. I mean, it might not drop past $1, below $1 at any point. However, I'm ready to make that trade if it does. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm just letting you guys know what I'm doing with my money. And again, I wasn't going to do this, but I am seeing an opportunity. I did have some money saved up on the side, so I thought, you know, why not? One last hurrah. It makes sense for me. It might not make sense for everybody, so I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. I also just wanted to make note of some people in the comment section the other day saying, what you're talking about doesn't make any sense, because what are these levels and what are these prices, and the chart doesn't, and what's with this price? Listen, guys, the one thing you have to understand is, although some of the concepts are similar when you are holding long or day trading, there are still some nuances that I'm sure many of you guys do not know about. So when day trading, when looking at smaller time frames and quicker entry points, quicker exits, you do have to pay attention to some other indicators. But I don't tend to day trade a lot these days. I used to day trade a lot more at the beginning. The longer hold is really where it's at. However, I do have the advantage to look at the charts on the smaller time frames and use my day trading knowledge specifically in order to gauge, at least using the best of my abilities, to gauge how to get in, when to get in to these entry points. So this is what I'm seeing. Again, it might work out, it might not work out. The other thing about the shorter term outlook is that the chances of it being wrong are a lot higher than when you're zoomed out on the chart and looking at a time frame for weeks or months or anything like that. So, and if you don't believe that I do day trade, I actually did a video when I first started the channel, day trading cannabis stocks. Not too many people are interested in it, though. I will link it in the top right-hand corner of this video if you do want to see me day trade. Just an example of me doing it in real time. I wanted to keep going, guys. This from XRP Crypto Wolf. Apparently, PayPal has launched cryptocurrency services in the UK. So they started in the US. Now they're broadening out to the UK. San Jose-based financial technology giant PayPal has announced that all of its eligible customers can now buy, sell, and hold cryptocurrencies in the UK. The list of supported digital assets include Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin, at least as of now. PayPal ventured into the cryptocurrency space, as we know, back in October. And now they're now that they've brought on US users, they are continuing into the UK. Of course, they do have to be regulatory compliant, and so I'm sure that has a lot to do with what jurisdictions they are going to go into next. So, as reported by You Today, the company initially announced it would expand its crypto service across the pond, and they mentioned this back in February. Jose Fernandez da Ponte, who is the blockchain guy over there at PayPal, he said, "We are committed to continue working closely with regulators in the UK and around the world to offer our support and meaningfully contribute to shaping the role digital currencies will play in the future of global finance and commerce." So, this is obviously not where it's going to end. They are going to continue rolling out crypto services. And so the UK, just the latest country where we can see a PayPal rollout. Wanted to thank XRP Crypto Wolf for posting that. And this from Lord Vendetta, guys, at Lord VXRP here on Twitter with regards to the lawsuit. Now, originally tweeted out by James K. Filan yesterday afternoon, the latest development in the XRP lawsuit saw Ripple file another appeal for the sealing of certain exhibits. This time around, the defendants have filed a letter motion to seal limited excerpts from the interrogatories dispute that the SEC filed under seal in support of its September 8th letter. So this is the latest, guys. Ripple files motions to seal exhibits regarding motion to compel answers to interrogatories identifying the theory of how the Howey test applies to transactions in XRP over the last 8 years. So Ripple's defense states that these are confidential designations according to the protective order, which in turn proves that they are that these are not judicial documents and henceforth are not entitled to a presumption of public access. Just going to continue down here. Additionally, Ripple also argued against the issue of public interest, claiming there lies no presumptive public access, and even if it was allowed, the interest would be minimal. Along with this, Ripple highlights the Lugosh versus Pyramid Co. of Onondaga verdict that emphasizes that such information is relevant, or rather irrelevant, to the performance of the judicial function or useful in the judicial process, and courts routinely recognize this as properly sealable. So here is a quote: "Neither of these documents is relevant, much less material to the merits of the SEC's letter response, which concerns the SEC's responses to defendants' interrogatories. Accordingly, there is no presumptive public access to these documents, and even if there were, the public's interest in them would be minimal. It is irrelevant to the SEC's letter. Indeed, to the extent the SEC even references these exhibits, the SEC does not reference the information Ripple seeks to seal." So more back and forth with regards to these documents. Of course, the heat is getting turned up. We are reaching that final mile in this lawsuit, and we're just kind of waiting, sitting back, seeing who is going to crack first. Of course, we know Ripple's got a very good case. Charles Gasparino even mentioned that, based on the lawyers that he has spoken with, Ripple has a pretty solid case. I mentioned a Fox News business clip of Charles Gasparino in a video I did a couple of days ago. I'll link that up here if you guys didn't catch it. Interesting, because he is one of the only mainstream media guys now reporting on this case. Coincidentally enough, for Fox Business. I'm going to get into that in a sec, guys. First, I wanted to mention this. So let me get this straight, guys. This is coming from JD, at JD_757 on Twitter. He says, Jay Clayton sues Ripple, then leaves the SEC to join a firm that fully backs Ethereum and Bitcoin, who are competing with XRP for market share. Corruption at its finest. Jay Clayton and the SEC, y'all going down. XRP to the moon. Spread the corruption. Like and retweet. I mean, this is exactly how we're seeing it here, right? In the XRP community, we are focusing on the facts. We're seeing who is connected to what their modus operandi could be, why they would do something like this, and we're coming to the conclusion that it's just corruption, and they haven't done a good job of hiding it. And so we know what happens when corruption is present. We know that there tend to be cover-ups. We know that there tend to be palms that are greased to kind of, here, think our way and report this. Well, I talked about Charles Gasparino the other day and how he's breaking this news for Fox News. He tweeted this out yesterday afternoon. So based on my reporting, I think the SEC case against Ripple brought by Jay Clayton was less about his current work now than him deferring to SEC staff, etc., and bringing the case to protect regulatory turf versus the CFTC on cryptocurrency. So what Charles Gasparino is saying here is, I don't think it's because he knew he was going to, have an affiliation with Ethereum after he left the SEC. I think it was honestly just to protect the turf the SEC has and didn't want to give it up to the CFTC. So an honest kind of decision that Jay Clayton is making, this coming from Charles Gasparino, just a day or so after he went on Fox Business and talked about this case. Clayton, he continues, is known to bow to staff concerns, doesn't mean it's a good case. In fact, protecting turf is a symptom of the haphazard way cryptocurrency's blockchain is being regulated and why we need consistency immediately, or we will get our clocks cleaned on this technology by China. So Gasparino here making an interesting observation. But the XRP community not buying it, digital asset investor, leaving some information here, another clip. But I mean, I don't have to play you guys these clips because I think we all get the point. We have been looking at this as, no, this is corrupt. This is corruption, and we can see it. It's clear as day. There is so much information to suggest it. Eric Erickson saying, I think we could be seeing damage control here, make it look like a silly regulatory turf war instead of what it really is, corruption, picking winners and losers, and getting paid to do so. So just pointing out the obvious, Jungle Inc. mentioning that would make sense, but the CFTC seems to be punting to the SEC. Doesn't seem to be much of a turf war in his opinion. So just an article from Yahoo Finance with regards to that topic. And other people down here commenting as well. Unless we know what cryptos the people at the SEC held, they held the Bitcoin and Ethereum. They refused to give Ripple those details. I wonder why. This coming from XRP Army News. Nietzschebucks down here saying, what have you uncovered about his current work in relation to his time at the SEC? So asking a few questions. It's interesting because we aren't really getting the answers, at least not yet. Rygo down here saying this, you were on the right path, now you're getting colder, responding to Charles Gasparino, who responds here, stay tuned. Now, this was from yesterday. Interesting to, bring up some new developments in the case. Of course, he is a journalist and he has been following this, I suppose, relatively closely. I don't know what the rest of his workload is like. And so Free American Spirit brought this to my attention, and, this tweet has gotten 0 likes. I'm going to be the first one to like that thing. I think that this deserves more likes than it's getting. Have you noticed that only a conservative news station is sticking up for a liberal company, Ripple, and protecting XRP? Why are liberal, i.e. CNBC, CNN, helping liberal Gensler destroy crypto and not covering the truth? Again, goes to this whole theory that maybe this is just a charade in plain sight. And I talked about this in yesterday's afternoon video. I'll link it up here, guys, in the top right-hand corner if you did not catch it. Because, this is something that we should be paying attention to. I know this is not a political channel, and I don't want to make this a political channel, but certain news outlets do, in fact, have their political bend. We know Fox tends to gravitate towards more conservative or Republican ideologies, and CNBC, CNN towards liberal Democratic ideologies. And so I've got to say this is of note. The only news station that is bringing this up is Fox. Let's continue, guys, because Michael at Val5 Links is also here looking for answers, bringing up this AMB crypto article. Inquiring minds want to know, is there any logic behind the SEC going after Ripple and not Ethereum? So this article, starts off by just giving us a bit of the background. While the SEC has hammered Coinbase and Ripple, it has given Ethereum a pass, a free pass. So here's the question. Why was Ethereum blessed while Ripple was sued? Why does Coinbase get a Wells notice while crypto lenders like Aave, built on the Ethereum platform, get a pass? So in a series of tweets, and then this just references Charles Gasparino's comments that he made, which I covered in former video, so I will just skip over that. But of course, guys, I will link this in the description of the video if you're interested. Ether is not a security. Previously, back in June 2018, they talk about the William Hinman speech. Moreover, William Hinman revealed that he had actually warned Ripple about XRP and advised the company to halt its sales. On the contrary, when asked about it recently, the SEC's Gary Gensler refused to comment. So Neil Jacobs here on Twitter mentioning this breaking when asked to comment on whether Ethereum qualifies as a security under the Howey test because it is under the control of so few people. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler refused to answer. This from back in early August of 2021. Even so, despite the noise, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse remains remains undeterred as far as his position on the sale of XRP is concerned. And so he said this last year, we would not be profitable or cash flow positive without selling XRP. If you took away all our XRP, that makes us less profitable, so I don't think about it as one thing. Needless to say, Gasparino's explanation didn't quite sit well within the XRP community. For instance, according to one supporter, so this is this tweet again from a couple of days ago, "That's all factually incorrect. I suggest you do some more research yourself so you can correct them or make proper follow-up questions. Kudos for trying, but you're getting played." So Charles Gasparino, of course, from this tweet, maybe I should give it some context, talking about the built-out infrastructure Ethereum and how Ripple's infrastructure is not as built out as of yet, which isn't entirely accurate. So, guys, I have linked those videos when I've mentioned them in the top right-hand corners. Because this all ties together. This is a breaking story. We're finding new information as we're moving forward. There was this as well that I didn't want to bring up, but I feel like it is important to bring up because it also ties in. This from BondCrypt XRP. How convenient that Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin joins Joe Biden and Billie Eilish on Time's 100 Most Influential People list. So I wasn't going to mention this article because I didn't think it really connected to anything I was talking about yesterday. However, I feel like I am going to bring it up today because to get on Time's 100, you have to be pretty darn influential. And Vitalik Buterin, right? Of all the cryptocurrencies, of all the projects, of course, we know Ethereum and Bitcoin, the only ones that have a regulatory pass. And so is this the United States saying, look, this is what you guys should be paying attention to when it comes to crypto. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin is one of the world's most influential people, according to Time magazine. And this Markets Insider article also brings up the point that Buterin's inclusion is a sign of the growing power of cryptocurrencies which have boomed in 2021. So again, I'm not so interested in the content of this article, but I do think it does speak volumes that Vitalik Buterin is now on Time's 100 Most Influential People list. I'm also going to bring this up, guys, and I think this is the icing on the cake from the SEC FinHub website. We all know the SEC allowed Ethereum to conduct an ICO. Now look at the DAO ICO. They took Ethereum as payment. That is an important detail to remember. This article details over and over how the DAO ICO was not exempt from selling securities, then out of nowhere, the agency has decided not to bring charges? That's right. So this is an investigative report, a press release from the SEC website directly. As you guys can see down here, it was from July 25th, 2017. So before any of this was really on our radar. This document goes on to say here, the SEC's report stems from an inquiry that the agency's enforcement division launched into whether the DAO and associated entities and individuals violated federal securities laws with unregistered offers and sales of DAO tokens in exchange for Ether, a virtual currency. The DAO has been described as a crowdfunding contract, but it would not have met the requirements of the regulation crowdfunding exemption because, among other things, it was not a broker-dealer or a funding portal registered with the SEC and the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. Therefore, in my opinion, they probably should have been looked into, correct? Well, let's continue. The innovative technology behind these virtual transactions does not exempt securities offerings and trading platforms from the regulatory framework designed to protect investors and the integrity of the markets, said Stephanie Avekian, co-director of the SEC's Enforcement Division. Stephen Pakin, co-director of the Enforcement Division, added, as the evolution of technology continues to influence how business operate and raise capital, market participants must remain cognizant of the application of the federal securities laws. But in light of the facts and circumstances, the agency has decided not to bring charges in this instance or make findings of violations in the report, but rather to caution the industry and market participants. The federal securities laws applies to those who offer and sell securities in the United States, regardless whether the issuing entity is a traditional company or a decentralized autonomous organization, regardless whether those securities are purchased using US dollars or virtual currencies, and regardless whether they are distributed in certificated form or through distributed ledger technology. So ultimately saying, even though these guys did not adhere to the definition, we are not pressing charges. We are not bringing charges in this instance. It says that right down here in this report from 2017. Now, the piece that Jameson here brings up, and I think is very important, this guy is on top of it. The DAO ICO was not exempt from selling securities. Then out of nowhere, the agency has decided not to bring charges. Now, it wasn't that point, sorry, it was this point. Now look at the DAO ICO. They took Ethereum as payment. And so if they took Ethereum as payment, and we know that Ethereum is the cryptocurrency to be paying attention to because we know Vitalik Buterin is now on Time Magazine's 100 list. We know that Ethereum has been given a pass from the SEC. We know that certain media outlets are covering this story and others are not. Charles Gasparino is still kind of scratching his head, looking into this further, giving us reasons why he is saying, Jay Clayton did what he did. But we have done our research. The XRP community obviously knows what's going on behind closed doors. And there is so much to suggest that Bitcoin and Ethereum have been on the SEC's radar from day one. We could say as early as at least 2017. That is when this was issued. That is when we were seeing the last bull run for cryptocurrency. So does this seem fishy to you? It certainly does seem fishy to me. All this while Gary Gensler has on numerous occasions called XRP a currency.
Half is Bitcoin, 55% or so in that slide. But Ethereum is quite big. A currency called Ripple that you might hear in the banking sector is probably third, if I remember.
So if XRP was a currency then, why is this court case still dragging on, SEC? I think we need some answers, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.